Sorry about that. Good morning, guys. How and ladies. How are we doing today? It is 10:02 a.m. Central Standard Time on the 7th of June. And we are going to jump into a few things, talk a little bit about what's going on, and yeah, we're gonna start hammering some things. So as you guys come on, let us know where you're coming in from, and we will get this show on the road. I see that people are just starting to get notified that we are live, so yes, it looks like we're starting to get people in. Right now, it looks like we have people coming in on Facebook and now Twitch. So as you guys are coming in, let us know where you're coming in from, and we'll give a couple shout outs, and then we'll get started. We're gonna have Sam on, and then yeah, we're gonna really start hammering through some stuff and cover a few of the new news items. Good morning, Brenda from Arizona, England. Awesome. Good morning, Nurse Bear from Washington State, Southern California. It looks like we are filling it up, and here shortly we'll be getting some people coming in from all over the rest of the United States. So welcome, and hello, Miss Sam. How are you doing today?
Hi, everybody. How you doing? England.
Yeah, we have England in the house. So
Very cool. Well, welcome to this side of the pond. Sorry, I decided last minute that I wanted some breakfast, so had to throw some sort of toast in the oven. I mean, it's not toast. It's some sort of keto bread, which is supposed to be a very, 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 it is a very close imitation of bread. I mean, it hits all the high points. It's like rectangle, and you can put eggs on it and butter on it. So it looks like toast. It tastes a lot like toast. The consistency is somewhat different, but I'm going to put this in my mouth and take a bite and chew it up and pretend it's toast.
good morning, Odessa, Texas, North Carolina, another Texan. Yeah, we have quite a few people coming in from all over the place. So we are glad that you guys are here.
Odessa, welcome. I love that you're from Odessa, because that's where the heroes are from, right? I think. Isn't that where Heroes was? Odessa, Texas? I don't know.
Not sure. And from Massachusetts is here. So guys, we're gonna kind of start this off. If you haven't been over to fullstream.net, go over there and get accounts set up. We are growing, and try to post in there too. We're going to be migrating the server, but we want people to continue to share out that we do have a free speech alternative to Facebook. It looks like Facebook. It feels like Facebook. The only thing we're missing is the live stream in the marketplace, and the marketplace is coming soon. So people will actually be able to buy and sell stuff on there. You look like you're a little cold, Sam.
I am. I am. I think the air conditioner just kicked in, which
Oh.
fine.
But a few things, just some housekeeping things, guys. We don't know every event that's going on that has something to do with Trump speaking or other patriots that are speaking, whether it's Trump or somebody in those circles. So if you do know where to grab a schedule, or if you know of any schedules, let us know. And then we are a self-funded broadcast. So if you guys want us to go to a lot of these places, we do have to raise money to actually go there. So that's a whole nother topic, but we are growing, and we are actively working on getting live stream cameras to go to these events, go to these locations, and film on location. So other topics. You may have heard a little bit more about the Fauci email scandal that is heating up. He has been called to testify in front of Congress again because something tells me that he's in a little bit of hot water. He says that that his emails were completely made up. I don't know if he has really an understanding as to how the FOIA process works, but we can break that down just a little bit because a lot of people don't even really truly understand that. So if you file a FOIA request, they have 90 days to respond. And if they don't, then you can take that to a court and they can order them to respond. NIH chose to do the latter. They didn't want to get drug into court. They produced the emails. Guess what? Those are from the NIH servers, guys. Those can't be just made up. You cannot just make up 3,500 plus emails out of nowhere. That would take some doing. And to actually go through and timestamp each email, or backdate those timestamps, it's impossible to do in the same amount of time that he claimed that they did. So just so people are aware that when Fauci says that his emails are not true and that somebody made them up, that's a lie.
He's telling a Fauci hood.
Yeah, that's a new one. We'll have to start using that.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, when you are the head of the NIH, supposedly, and you claim that your emails were just made up, and then all of a sudden, one of the guys that you emailed just somehow managed to delete all of his tweets. I think there's like 5,000 tweets, and take himself off of Twitter, and then supposedly go missing in under 48 hours. That's a big, big red flag. I have to put this down.
Oh, okay.
Where was the sniffer?
He was taking a nap.
he probably called a lid on it. But
No, nothing from the White House about D-Day. Oh, there were a couple of comments back there that I didn't want to hit really, really quick. Supreme Court decision on immigration. No, we didn't see it. Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go through them real quick. They are heavily redacted, yes. And if you look at the redactions, guys, when you go through those emails and you look at the redactions, there are a bunch of different codes at the very end of each redaction as to why they are redacted. And there's law enforcement redaction, there's sensitive and classified information redactions, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, oh yeah, and there's redactions because there's diplomatic redactions, which are basically if this information was released, it'd be damaging to the relationship between two countries. The only way you do that is if you're going to cover for the Chinese Communist Party in this case. And that is why I think this is even more so. It's an even bigger problem because if you're going to provide cover for the Chinese Communist Party, then you more than likely you're receiving money. However, is that verified that he is receiving money from them? No, that is a rabbit hole that I'm willing to explore because there is enough tangible evidence to provide a plausible theory. See, when I go down the rabbit holes, I'm not willing to go down the ones where talking about Q and stuff like that because those do not provide a plausible theory, in my opinion. And maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, no, you avoid the rabbit holes with the sparkles on them.
Yeah, because they just tend to be a little bit too sparkly, and maybe they might be distracting from other stuff that needs to be covered, such as the Fauci emails. Immigrants who enter illegally cannot get green cards. I don't know. I've never heard of green cars, but hey, whatever. Tesla's probably bitching about that. I know you're talking about green cards. Whatever. I'm just giving you crap, but it is absolutely true. I think it's definitely worth talking about. But yes, so Supreme Court, that is part of the Supreme Court decision that they cannot get due to the temporary immigration status. They cannot receive their green cards. So, yeah, that's.
And no, you don't have to pay for the service if you're talking about using the full stream service. No, you do not pay for that, right?
Where is that at?
It's right under Nurse Mary's comment at 10:08 a.m.
Okay, and no, we do not charge for the fullstream.live, fullstream.net. Unless you're advertising, we don't charge you. And by advertising, that means you have contacted us saying that you want to run an ad slick. That is the only thing that's paid. And that's how our platform stays up. So it costs several hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every month to keep this whole operation going. So
use it.
If small business owners want to advertise, just email us. So yes, I do. I understood what you're. Have I heard of any military exercises in Washington? So there supposedly, this was put out by DHS. There is going to be some military training exercises in conjunction with the Capitol Police, in conjunction with other operations such as the FBI, the Capitol Police, the Washington, D.C. Police, and
You're talking about East Coast Washington, not West Coast Washington.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different people involved. Lacey Jean, don't have Telegram. Well, our platform isn't just on Telegram. We are, give me a second. If you want to create an account, though, that is a places where you go. Did I see Breadman's TikTok posted this morning? Yes, I did. And I actually reached out to an individual who has been to multiple retirement ceremonies in the last 2 weeks. All of the retirement orders and citations are signed by Donald J. Trump. Do I find it weird? Yes. Understand what's going on? No. Are we looking into it to see why? Absolutely. So I find it interesting, and I find it interesting that Trump made a insinuation at the North Carolina GOP convention that he will be back sooner than expected. So what does that mean? I don't have a clue. We'll see what happens. We're going down rabbit holes, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. And if people are interested in helping us find more of these events that we can live stream, we definitely want to live stream. We want to get to the point where we are buying the cameras and actually being able to live stream these events on location and not just having somebody else's stream that we're airing. King Me, if you could send that to me, that'd be amazing. But yeah, so there is something that just happened this morning. So a flight took off from New York and landed in Bedminster, which is right near where Trump is. And it is his aircraft.
Okay.
And the call sign was TF1. Trump Force 1.
Good. I love that.
So what's going on? It's there's a bunch of different things that are going on. And the reality is anybody who is paying attention, I've talked to high-level commanders, I've talked to generals, not a single person knows what the heck is going on. Because even generals who go through these different retirement ceremonies and stuff like that, they're finding it weird. They're looking at each other and like, what the heck is going on? So anybody who's saying that they know what's going on, they're out of touch, because even some of the high-level generals that I know that are definitely Trump supporters that can't stand the current administration, they are saying that this is weird. This has never happened in the history of the United States. When I was talking to a bunch of these guys, I asked them, I said, I've served. My orders basically cycling me out of the military and giving me my medical discharge, along with the citation for the 6 years of service. They were signed by President Barack Obama. Did I keep the letter? No, I literally burned it in front after the whole thing was over. When you get out under an administration, it's usually the commander in chief, the person who is literally running the military, who is a citizen or civilian commander in chief of the military, that signs those orders or those citations. It's not happening in this case. So it's very telling when you start going through and you start seeing these different things that are happening, because it's very, very confusing. But good morning, Michelle from South Carolina.
Blue skies, we can't tell you what to believe. We don't know. I don't think anybody knows for sure. You need to take a call?
No.
No.
I'm listening to something real quick.
We know that what's going on is strange. We know what we can draw our own conclusions about that. And we're speculating about some conclusions about what we're seeing, but we can't tell you for sure what's happening. We can tell you what we believe is happening.
Yeah. Okay, so what I was listening to was that the TikTok that was sent by Bradman or King Me earlier this morning was posted, and then the guy followed up and explained a few things. But I thought it was kind of an interesting thing. You can have your retirement orders signed by any living president. However, he asked the individual who retired if he had requested that, which is you would have to request it in order for it to happen. And the guy said he had not. So,
in the absence of a request, it is the current sitting president who signs the order. Okay.
So it's just very, very interesting how all this stuff is just the web weaving is getting more and more, like you said earlier today, it is getting more and more intricate because there's so many people that are being led down a road where it's just leading to chaos. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a specific intent behind it.
An intent to lead to chaos.
Yeah. So we are as smart as you are as smart as we are. Guess what?
Maybe
there's not a single person out there, whether they claim to know it or not, that actually knows anything about what's going on. There are people out there saying that they're in contact with Trump and different people inside the organization. Guess what? If they're coming out and saying, yeah, we've been in contact with Trump and he is requesting this, this, and this from us. If he was requesting that from you guys, and he didn't say that in one of his speeches or in one of his press conferences or press releases, Do you know specifically that is true? No. So you kind of people are trying to obfuscate. I do believe there is a specific reason he moved up to New Jersey, Bedminster in particular, but I don't believe that it's for what people think it's for. Bedminster is close to the seat of power. However, there's also some things that are happening in the Southern District of New York that there's depositions and different things that have to happen. So there are a bunch of things that are happening.
Maybe Florida's just getting hot.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But
yeah, it's a summer home.
I find it strange that a woman in Canada is claiming to be the CIC. People are going to claim a lot of different things. Do I believe 100% of what's being said? I'm going to look at that Blue Skies. Cesar Sacchetti wrote the article.
When was that article written? Blue Skies, do you know?
June 3rd.
Oh, so of this year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this actually gives a compelling argument because according to the Insurrection Act, if you were to sign the Insurrection Act, most of the time, I shouldn't say you're signing the Insurrection Act because you can never re-sign something that's already been signed into law. You can invoke something that has been signed into law at a later date, but actually signing the Insurrection Act, that is a different story. The invocation of the Insurrection Act can be considered top secret, which would keep it out of public purview. So in essence, what this individual is saying could be construed as truthful because they can invoke it, sign it, classify it top secret, and it would never be released to the public, which means that the conspiracy theory that's out there could be construed, or is that he signed the Insurrection Act and gave him a bevy of new power. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. And without actual hard evidence, it can be left as a rabbit hole for people to dive down. However, here's something that did happen, because we can actually tangibly look at the executive orders and the different things. There are 2 executive orders that Donald Trump signed in the waning days of his presidency. One, basically,
welcome.
Yeah. So one of the executive orders basically says that, hey, if you interfere in our elections, we will remove your property, we will take over your property, yada, yada, yada. But That is invoking a previous law that was signed into law in 2019, and the first part of that law was signed in 2017. Both laws, when combined, make a very strong legal argument for a 2-month extension to military powers when going into a new presidency. However, there can be 3 separate extensions that happen. So, does it make sense where they claim that Trump is still in charge? Yeah. But does it really confer a whole lot of trust in the system? No. Because you look at, with the invocation, if he was to invoke the Insurrection Act and try to push through all these changes while the apparent public or us is under the belief that there's really nothing, that does a disservice to the whole United States, the whole of United States. So it's kind of interesting to just dive into that a little bit and really research it. But if they extend it 3 months or 3 times, 2 months, 2 months, and 2 months, that's 6 months. We are in the 6th. We're running right into the end of that 3rd extension, which means on the 20th of June, that 3rd and final extension will run out. Is something going to happen before then? Don't know. But we can draw our conclusions pretty succinctly. I know on the 14th of June, we have a report that is going to be released by the Arizona State Senate. We have a report that is going to be released the exact same day from New Jersey, Georgia. All of them are being released the exact same day. And what do you think people are actually going to find? Is it possible that Trump signed something that we don't know about? I stand corrected. 6 months is July 20th. 14th is Trump's birthday. Yes. Flag Day. Is it possible that Trump signed something that we don't know about? Yes. Basically, if he signs something and stamps it with a top secret stamp, we would never know about it. So there is a date, and that knowing what we know about dates, we don't like to rely heavily on those days, but I do believe that there is going to be a lot of interesting stuff that pops on the 14th. Guess what? I took the day off specifically to cover exactly that. So it is going to be an interesting day. It is also my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
On June 14th.
On June 14th?
Yep. So, and she is actually 17 years younger than Donald Trump. Actually,
that's a nice number.
What's that?
I said that's a nice number.
Yep. So it's kind of an interesting concept. I think Trump turns 73 this year?
Maybe. I don't know, somewhere around there. Yeah.
So, yeah, I know 73, 74, 75. Somebody popped in. So 15 years to be exact. I couldn't tell you guys. I was not here. We were streaming it, but I was not here watching it. I actually had to work.
Yeah, I've been working.
So, yeah, there's. Ooh, I would. So, Sam, I don't know if you can, but I'm gonna try to pull up. So there's something that I just learned.
Mm-hmm.
And I consider myself pretty well versed in government
Mm-hmm.
because I used to work for the government, but I have never even heard of this until just now. President Emergency Action Documents, or PED, are executive orders, proclamations, and messages to Congress that are prepared in anticipation of a range of emergency scenarios. So they are ready to sign and put into effect the moment that one of those scenarios comes to pass. First created during the Eisenhower administration as part of the continuity of government plans in case of a nuclear attack. PEDs have since been expanded for use in other emergency situations where normal operation of government is impaired. As one recent government document describes them, they are designed to implement extraordinary presidential authority in response to extraordinary situations.
And extraordinary situations like a coup where a non-elected leader is sitting in the White House.
PEDs are classified secret, and no PED has ever been declassified or leaked. Indeed, it appears that they are not even subject to congressional oversight, although the law requires the executive branch to report even the most sensitive covert military and intelligence operations to at least some members of Congress. There is no such disclosure requirements for PEDs, and no evidence that the documents have ever been shared with relevant congressional committees.
Okay.
That's a pretty big deal.
A big deal in that it exists, or a big deal in that they are admitting that there is a
possibility.
Transparency.
There is a possibility that there could be a PED that was signed by Trump.
That's in effect right now.
There is absolutely nothing that can be done about it because there is no congressional oversight. What is this called? It's Presidential Emergency Action Documents, or PEAD. So is it something that could be a rabbit hole for people to go down that it happened? Yes. Is it 100% that that's what's going on? No. We don't know. There's a thing called classified secrets. And even unless you are in the very echelon of the government that is directly affected, you would not know about it. Although PEDs themselves remain a well-kept secret over the year, a number of unclassified or declassified documents have become available that discuss PEDs. Although through these documents, we know that there are 56 PEDs in effect as of 2018, up from 48 a couple decades ago.
That's why the congressmen and senators are acting so stupid. I'm not sure I understand exactly what that's referring to, Ahoy. Although I would venture to say that
They don't know
they're
what's going on.
stupid
No,
on their own.
they
Oh,
would.
they actually don't know what's going on. Okay. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure stupid is their baseline. A lot of them.
We know that PEDS in the past year authorized detention of alien enemies or
Mhm.
other dangerous persons within the United States, suspended the writ of habeas corpus by presidential order, provided various forms of martial law, issued a general warrant permitting search and seizure of persons and property, established military areas such as those created during World War II,
But if
suspended
all these
production of the Federal Register, declared a state of war, and authorized censorship of news reports.
yes, but if all these are peds and we're not supposed to know about them, how do we know about them?
These are ones that have been completely declassified.
Okay.
So these are just examples of different ones that have been declassified.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's is it probable that there is something going on? Absolutely. So yeah, there's
Sorry. Did I turn the oven off? I meant to turn the oven off. It's not me. Okay. Sorry.
So there is a bunch of different things that are all combining to actually create plausible scenarios for what is going on. How do we know for sure? We won't. But I think there might be a shock if something like that actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the mainstream media really wouldn't know too much. And it's kind of funny because I was talking to a friend of mine who works with the Bureau. He deals with clearances and doing the clearance interviews. And he said that there is not a single person in the cabinet that actually has received their top secret clearance papers. And he would know.
Mm-hmm.
He is literally the top of that agency or that department that deals with just that. So there's a bunch of stuff going on that's weird. It's not normal.
No, you're right. It's not normal, and we can speculate about what it is, but we can't know for certain. But we can still always speculate. It's kind of a study like studying black holes or dark matter or something. And when scientists are studying black holes in space, you can't see them. You can't observe them. They gather information about the existence and then the nature of a black hole by looking at the behavior of the objects around this item. And that's all we're doing. That's all we can do.
It's basically black holes are theories. There's no proven existence about black holes.
Mm-hmm. Because we can't
filmed because
no light.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have what's called the event horizon that supposedly is around it, but
with your accretion disk, but that's the only thing that we can
observe.
We can observe the behavior of the items around it that tell us there is something going on at this epicenter, but we can't actually see the epicenter. All we can do is make interpretations about what is happening in that epicenter based on the behavior of the surrounding items. And that's really what we're doing right now.
And that's why I think it's kind of interesting that all this stuff is just starting to bubble to the surface. that now it's just been a slow, steady drip, drip, drip. And now it's starting to pick up more and more. And it's getting kind of confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think come the 14th, it's going to be a interesting day, and I definitely want to make sure that we have solid facts and figures. We're going to be going through, combing the documents that are released on the 14th, and just opening everything to everybody. Okay, I'm looking for a document dump from Arizona, New Hampshire, and Georgia. All three states there's supposed to be a document dump.
Because related to the completion of the audits, right? Yeah, so that's what we're looking for on the 14th. The 14th, the audits are being wrapped up theoretically right now. The reports for the audits should be ready on the 14th. That was the date that we were given to expect them. So we are expecting them for the 14th. And that's our build of anticipation here. Those audit report documents.
Guys, so there's a friend of mine who is literally does this for a living for the Bureau, and he is in charge of that department, and he said there's been 0 TS clearances that have been given. So People's Right, I will send you an email later. So yeah. And Sam doesn't get emails. I do. And I have been very, very busy. So I have not gotten back to a whole lot of people. So yeah, there's a Georgia audit that's happening as well that deals with that 124,000, 127,000 email or ballots that's going on. It's too short. We'll have a conversation later. On the clearances, why is it significant? Because there must be 3 members of a cabinet that have clearances, because those people are briefed with the different briefings that we give to, like, the president, the vice president. For the presidential daily brief, there's usually 3 cabinet members or cabinet level people that receive briefings as well for continuity of government. And cabinet members without top secret clearances cannot function. Absolutely. So, and other states are stepping up for audits. Absolutely. Things are going on.
Sally, I think it's PEADS.
Yep.
Presidential Emergency
Documents.
Documents. And is that something she can just Google PEADS or Presidential Emergency?
Yeah, there's a bunch of sources for when you, like, for me, I look at the Brennan Center.org. It is as far as what they do with a lot of the presidential stuff and the military, they do a fairly decent job of staying overtly apolitical. The article you posted goes into it. Yes, there is a reference over to the Brennan Center, and that is where I've gotten a lot of the information. So but Sam, I've been doing an awful lot of talking, and you've been sitting there silently eating. So
I was, and I finished my breakfast. Thanks. It was very nice. So I don't know. What do you want to talk about this morning? I was enjoying like listening to the stream, just sitting here being on it. I had 2 days back at work. It was nice, sort of. It was difficult to be back at work, but I pulled it off, and I'm going back again in a couple days. So that's good. I've been thinking more and more, trying to compile a list of the things that I really would like to see in a federal statute or a federal standard of care for hospice patients. Again, the expansion of not just hospice care, but of the education surrounding hospice care and of public education surrounding hospice care, what it is and what it isn't, mostly what it is, and why you implement it and what its goal is, because I think people widely don't understand, and that does lead to some interpersonal difficulties that can linger after you lose a loved one in those circumstances, and it's very difficult on the family members. The family members who do not understand that hospice care is based on the wishes of the patient, and it is designed to respect and honor and those wishes while providing them a dignified demise, and it is difficult for many people to accept. It is made infinitely more easy for them to accept when they understand and realize that it is based on not on the wishes of the person administering the care, but on the wishes of the person receiving the care. And I really, really, really do think that we need to start a nursing program, a nursing education, nursing degree and license specifically for hospice care. That would be separate from, say, your LPN or your RN, a nurse for hospice care.
And people's right. I did send you an email after the show. You can contact me.
Guy, that would be lovely. Let me tell you what I ate for breakfast this morning. I had 4 pieces of keto toast, which isn't really, like I said, it's toast. It's kind of like square, like bread. It looks a lot like toast, doesn't quite taste the same. And 4 pieces of homemade beef jerky and some coffee. If that sounds like a delicious breakfast, I mean, bring it. We'll go with that. But that's one of the kind of breakfasts that you stretch out as long as you can. Cheers to breakfast. Someday I will eat a scone for breakfast, like I had planned to this morning, because some very, very, very nice, kind, considerate, and loving person sent me a tin of some really amazing scones, just because they knew what I had, the difficulty I've had over the last couple weeks. And I had 2 bites of one last night, and I had to put it away and be like, I'm never opening that tin again, because the next time I open it, I will eat every scone in the box. They were delicious, and I got up this morning, and first thing I did was go open the box of scones, not even think about it, because I've been eating carbs for like 2.5 weeks while I deal with my grief, and I didn't mean to say that in that disrespectful manner. It was a very difficult time, and carbohydrates honestly provided a really nice form of comfort. But I
Guys,
opened that and I got it out. And I
definitely
was
said
like,
stone.
what?
She was eating stones.
Stones.
That's how her food's
Stones.
get ground up.
Really amazing scones from some place that it was delivered to me from like it came in the mail from some little bakery in like Birmingham, Alabama, like completely out of state, and they were amazing. But yeah, I had to put that scone back in the tin today. It was one of the harder things that I've done in a couple days, and eat my keto toast and beef jerky instead. So
2 cigarettes and 2 cups of coffee with a donut.
I'm almost
sounds like my kind of breakfast. Oh wait, I shouldn't say that. What are you talking about?
Gosh,
But
yeah, I did. Yes, keto works. It works great. I lost 112 pounds with it. It's just I have to keep doing it, or it's not gonna work. Keto only works if you eat keto.
But no, it's very interesting. And guys, as far as it being a plausible explanation as to what's going on, that is the only explanation that I can frankly that is the only explanation that I've seen or even heard of, really, that even plausibly makes sense to any of what's going on.
Which explanation? I missed that part.
About what's going on with the presidency and
the peds.
Yeah,
it does seem to makes all the disparate, strange. It would work except for this, and it would work except for this, and it would work except for that things. It does provide a cohesive explanation for all of that, because it includes all the except for that, except for that, except for that. All the exceptions would be explained by it.
Yeah, and that's why for me it's like, does it make sense? I mean, I understand the continuity of government thing, because we had to do continuity of government training with the things that I did. But yeah, it just gets interesting, especially when you have done actual briefings with classified documents, and you're just like, you know about the trainings, you know about all the stuff, but then you find out something that even you didn't know about. That's a big gander. But guys, we are running real close. Any final thoughts, Sam, before we wrap this up?
No. At some point there was some sort of drone spotting over some base in Arizona, or some town in Arizona, apparently this week. Just as a, hey, let's open a new can of worms, right, since we're on the way out. That I heard about. I don't know how true it is. I don't know anything about that. But apparently the story goes there was a drone that was spotted. It didn't appear on radar, and it was able to evade helicopter pursuit. Climbed to like 14,000 feet, which is apparently really high for drones. I don't know anything about that. And then sort of disappeared. But it was flying in.
Send me the article on that. I might have to do some checking and go live again.
I don't have an article on that. It was on a podcast from the Health Ranger.
Okay, I'll take a look into it. But as always, guys, you have a pen and a microphone. Use them. Silent majority can no longer stay silent. God bless you guys. God bless the United States of America. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Bye, everybody.